Good morning, Doreen. Good morning, Suzanne. Barb. Jody. Nice to see you as well. Jody and Bant out there in Wisconsin. Merrick Music. Jenny Plume with the thumbs up. Yes, indeed. Morning, Merrick. How are you? Good morning, one and all. All right. It's your old pal Mike here. I'm gonna get this show started right now. We'll get to the strumming and less gumming, as Merrick called it last week. It's just the sound of my boots on the ground. I need a place where I can lie down. Little things along the way, little things I have found, rolling through another town. It's just the way an empty highway feels. Full moon rising over endless fields, lost in thought, cracks in the windshield, rolling through another town. La 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 la. Ooh. Out in the wilderness, high upon the plains, at 3 in the morning, all towns look the same. Smoke curls from a chimney, silhouettes from the window pane, rolling through another town. La 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 la. La 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 la. When the day comes my body I no longer need, don't you cry or shed a tear for me. Just take my ashes and let the wind carry me, blowing through another town, blowing through another town, blowing through another town. She stepped out the front door. She never was too sure where that road out front would take her, but it was gonna take her away. Maybe today, or maybe LA. She said it started with that feeling that sent her mind a reeling. She long thought of leaving with nothing to say. Maybe today, or maybe LA. Yeah, now can you tell me, mister, just what it was that we did? Yeah, we acted like we were rebels, but we were nothing more than kids. She said, I can't sleep in the bed that we made. No, I can't sleep in the bed that we made. Maybe LA. She said, I wanna be where no one cares. She ran her hands through her hair, lit a cigarette and stared, then said, besides the weather's there. Anyway, maybe LA. Yeah, now can you tell me, mister, just what it was that we did? Yeah, we acted like we were rivals, but we were nothing more than kids. She said, I can't sleep in the bed that we made. Oh, I can't sleep in the bed that we made. Maybe LA. Yeah, can you tell me, mister, just what it was that we did? Yeah, we acted like we were the chosen ones, but we were nothing more than kids. She said, I can't sleep in the bed that we made. And in the script, this is my character's cue to fade. Maybe LA. Maybe LA. Maybe LA. Oh, maybe LA. Well, can you tell me, mister, just what it was that we did? You see, we acted like we were rebels, but we were nothing more than kids. Now I can't sleep in the bed that we made. And in the script, this is my character's cue to fade. Maybe LA. Has anyone seen Benny? Has Benny been around? Anybody seen the man in the this sleepy northern town. I drove up and down the main street looking for his Oldsmobile. Benny man, oh Benny man, well I hope you're not for real. Benny, where, oh where did you go? Well, I drove down to the pool hall and I stole Betty Lou. Has anyone seen Benny Betty? Can you tell me, has he been through? She said, hell no, I ain't seen him. As she lit a cigarette, she shook her head and cursed his name. I ain't seen hide in the hair of him yet. Benny, where, oh where did you go? Well, Benny parked his Oldsmobile up on Shepman's Hill. He wrote a suicide note on a $50 bill. Life lost its thrill. Well, he sat there for a minute and he thought about his life. He said, a man must be crazy, and he drove off in the night. He drove down to the pool hall where he saw old Betty Lou. She said, Benny man, oh Benny man, where the hell did you go to? Benny, where, oh where did you go? Where, oh where did you go? Where did you go? Yeah, man. Good morning, one and all. That was 3 in a row. I feel like a DJ. That was 3 in a row with Through Another Town, maybe LA, and Has Anyone Seen Benny? Right here on the steel-belted radio. Floyd Finley, what's Floyd have to say? Mick Jesus. Boy, Mick Jesus was in beast mode last night, was he not? Yes. Good game. If you're an Oilers fan, which I happen to be, but yeah. And you know what? I have to give props to Koskinen too. He stood on his head. Anyway, back to the music. This is not 6:30 Ched, the hockey line here. Matt Ketchum, nice to see you, buddy. How are you? Yeah, man. So, welcome to episode 23 of Easy Like Sunday Morning. Who'da thunk it? Who'da thunk it? Yeah, man. That was a good way to sort of start the show. Just kind of like way over yonder in a minor key and sort of work your way up out of that. See where you can go. So with that in mind, I'm going to keep trucking and crawl up out of this minor business. So you find yourself walking along, past the junkies on the telephone. Now in a pawn shop window, your reflection tells you what you already know. It ain't nothing but a broken heart. Ain't nothing but a broken heart. It ain't nothing but a broken heart. Ain't nothing but a broken heart. Cheap guitars never stay in tune, but it don't matter in an empty room. Sleep with the sun and sing with the moon. Tin foil on the windows in the afternoon. 'Cause it ain't nothing but a broken heart. Ain't nothing but a broken heart. It ain't nothing but a broken heart. Ain't nothing but a broken heart. Do your best to do your best. Where you'll go and what you'll do next. Where you'll be is anyone's guess. So do your best, do your best. 'Cause it ain't nothing but a broken heart. It ain't nothing but a broken heart. It ain't nothing but a broken heart. Ain't nothing but a broken heart, that's right. It ain't nothing but a broken heart. Ain't nothing but a broken heart. It ain't nothing but a broken heart. It ain't nothing but a broken heart, that's right. Yeah, man. So long, Stomping Tom, I can't believe you're gone. So long, Stomping Tom, but at least we've got your songs. Like Bud the Spud from the bright red mud and the gumboot cloggeroo. So long, Stomping Tom, may God take care of you. Well, me and my wife and kid, we all sing along. We're driving around Moncton town singing a hockey song. We were to it and at it, and we was at it and to it until we tuned our attitude in. So long, Stomping Tom, until we meet again. Well, so long, Stomping Tom, I can't believe you're gone. So long, Stomping Tom, but at least we've got your songs. Like Margot's got the cargo by and the old muckluck shoe. So long, Stomping Tom, may God take care of you. So many people I've not met, but yet I know by name. Like poor old Ben down in the pen and that gal Red River Jane. Or Potato and Tomato, they're driving to Windsor in their car. And see Walker past the pawn shop, if it ain't Luke with his guitar. Well, so long, Stomping Tom, I can't believe you're gone. So long, Stomping Tom, but at least we've got your songs. Like the TTC Skedaddler and Goodbye Rubberhead too. So long, Stomping Tom, may God take care of you. That's right. Well, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, they're all hanging on to every word. While you're singing songs about Saskatchewan and picking tobacco way down in Tillsonburg. And there's a million drunken angels, and they're all singing with you tonight. And when you see my mom down in the front row, well, could you tell her we're doing all right? And so long, Stomping Tom, I can't believe you're gone. So long, Stomping Tom, but at least we've got your songs, like Big John Mufferaw and Sudbury Saturday Night. So long, Stomping Tom, may you rest in peace tonight. Hey, so long, Stomping Tom, may you rest in peace tonight. Well, so long, Stomping Tom, may you rest in peace tonight. Yep. So long, Stomping Tom, may you rest in peace tonight. Putting tinfoil on the windows. Thanks, man. I don't want to see that. Yeah, Warren Zevon, there you go, man. That's it. Warren Zevon. Yeah, man. I saw him at the Edmonton Folk Festival in 2003, and that was officially his last gig. He died about a year later, but found out that he was sick the next week when he got back from Edmonton. Maybe he was in Edmonton when he first realized that. Thought he was having some lung issues. Crazy. Okay. Yes, all right. Thanks, Matthew. Scotty McDonald, nice to see you, Hoss. Yeah, man. Oh, man. I've whiskied up my coffee cup. I'm sitting here trying not to call you up. Yeah, man. All right. Where are we? What's going on? Yari out there in her ket. Nice to see you, buddy. Okay. What shall I play next? Let me tell you where I've been since I've been gone and back again. I'm coming in on an Alberta wind, Bartender Bottoms Up. Now listen, boys, it's been a while. The tribulations and the trials have come along and drunk in my Bartender Bottoms Up. So ring the bell, Jimmy, would you please? Well, as long as you're pulling the pints, pull one for me. Ring the bell, Jimmy, would you please? Oh, it's been so long that I've been gone, but I'm back up from away. And hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of going away, coming home again. Said, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of going away, coming home again. Well, the morning sun was at my back as I left Petacodiac, making my way out to Fort Mac, Bartender Bottoms Up. I left my home in the Maritimes, I went across the Okobec line with my boot to the boards, and I'm making good time, Bartender Bottoms Up. So ring the bell, Jimmy, would you please? Well, Ontario was such a hell of a ways. Manitoba and Saskatchewan, oh, well, it's been said the yellowhead's as flat as she's long. But hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. Best part of going away is coming home again. Said, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of going away, coming home again. Rolling north on 63 and pulling in the Mecca-Marie, and Easterners are all you see, Bartender Bottoms Up. They're working in the tar sands, drinking in the oil can. They think we're all from Newfoundland, Bartender Bottoms Up. So ring the bell, Jimmy, would you please? Well, as long as you're pulling the pints, pull one for me. Ring the bell, Jimmy, would you please? And you tell the boys and make the noise, the drinks are on me. Cause hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. Best part of going away is coming home again. Said hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of going away, coming home again. That's right. What do you say? I just got back to town today. Best part of going away, coming home again. Said, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today. The best part of going away is coming home again. I'm working the patch to make the green, and steeper rents I've never seen. And Christ, the price of gasoline, Bartender Bottoms Up. I spent most me money on booze and broads, the rest I wasted, swear to God. The odds were good, but the goods were all bartender, bottoms up. Now listen, boys, that's where I've been since I've been gone and back again. Now thank Christ some missus let me in. I said, bartender, bottoms up, and I said, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today, the best part of going away, coming home again. Said, hey, what do you say? I just got back to town today, the best part of going away is coming home again. The best part of going away is coming home again. The best part of going away is coming home again. That's right. Yeah, man. Diane Plume, that song's for you, pal. As someone who is from Petticodiac and knows the pub Chumley's, that's for you right there. Yeah, man. Okay. Well, I saw Jesse from the Back 40 Band say something. What's going on? That's funny. Sweet passing of time. Yeah, I'll do that for you. Good call there, Jesse. All right. Good call on that song, Jesse. All right. Well, I used to be a drinking kind. Drinking never was a friend of mine. The words she whispered never did ring true. She'd leave me by the side of the road in the middle of the night in the freezing cold. Again in the morning we would start anew. But if that was now and this was then, I'd still do it all over again. So here's to the sweet passing of time. Well, I've always loved the sound of my guitar in another town. Late night coffee has its late night charm. A little something in a coffee cup, a little something just to pick you up, and a little something in a stranger's arms. If that was now and this was then, I'd still do it all over again. So here's to the sweet passing of time. As the years go drifting by in a cliched blink of an eye, where would you be if not for that one turn? And if I could talk to the younger me, so many things I'd ask him to see, like how wins and losses and lessons learned. And if that was now and this was then, I'd do it all over again. So here's to the sweet passing of time. And if that was now and this was then, I'd still do it all over again. So here's to the sweet passing of time. Here's to the sweet passing of time. The sweet passing of time from my new album, Lonesome Stretch of Highway. Yeah, man. There's some really cool lines in that song. If I could talk to the younger me, so many things I'd ask him to see, like how wins or losses are still lessons learned. Yeah. Yeah. My first record came out, I felt like I was working on a cancer cure. And, yeah. But, yeah, I'm very proud of that song. I like those lyrics a lot. Thanks for asking for that song, Jesse. Hope you're doing well there, down there in Okotoks. Cheers, gang. Cheers to your coffee. Yeah. Where would you be if not for that one turn? I think of that all the time. That's a line that I think of a lot. I thought of that line long before I ever wrote it. One turn. Everything is just one turn. You know. Kind of like that scene in Forrest Gump with the feather. We're just all just like feathers floating on the breeze, and just never, every little thing has an impact. We just don't realize it all the time. But yeah, like the reason I know, like Matt Ketchum, and Jesse, and all these guys, everybody, Ken. These are all just like little instances of just a drifting around, bumping into somebody. Ken and I met in shop class in 11th grade. And then probably went 25 or 30 years without crossing paths again. You know, that kind of thing. If I wasn't working, if I didn't take that job working at Long and McQuaid, where I've been for the last year or so, never would have crossed paths with young Matt Ketchum. You know, so it's very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. And fascinating. So, yeah. Not really sure where to go from there, but I'll see if I can think of something. Looking back on the good old days, wild and crazy in my Chevrolet, with just enough money to pay my share, old enough to know better, young enough not to care. Now here we have some fun, and time doesn't walk it around. So looking back on those summer nights, paradise by the dashboard lights, filling up a tank of that old Chevrolet. $20 went a lot further in those days. Now hey, we'd have some fun, and time doesn't walk it around. Like a bullet from a gun, time won't wait for anyone. Take your best shot at the setting sun, 'cause time goes by like a bullet from a gun. Looking back on the first job I had through a friend of a friend of a friend of my dad's, the hours were long and the pay was bad, but when the weekend rolled around, man, was we all glad. And hey, we'd have some fun, time doesn't walk it around. Like a bullet from a gun, time won't wait for anyone. Take your best shot at the setting sun, 'cause time goes by like a bullet from a gun. It burns bright and it burns fast, well, you hold tight for it slips past. We're trying hard to outrun before it's gone, like a bullet from a gun. Looking back on the good old days, 10 years from now, that'll be today. And as I get older, there's one thing I find: these good old days happen all the time. Well, and hey, we're having us some fun, and time doesn't walk, it runs like a bullet from a gun. Time won't wait for anyone. Take your best shot at the setting sun, 'cause time goes by like a bullet from a gun. We're like a bullet from a gun. Time won't wait for anyone. Take your best shot at the setting sun. Time goes by like a bullet from a gun. That's right. Like a bullet from a gun. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, absolutely, Ken. You know it. Absolutely. Kelly Baker out there. I would have met Mike and Tom at their little bike shop there right by the arcade, where I first met Floyd back in August of 1985. Yeah. Yeah, their dad had a bike shop there. It was the only BMX bike shop in town that I recall, or the only bike shop that had some BMX stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, I could talk about this kind of stuff all day long. There's a picture of Jenny and her friend, a friend of hers in Toronto in like January of 1985, and they're standing on this street corner, like on Bay and Bloor or something like that. And I was in Toronto that weekend when that picture was taken. And it's just, you think of that, it's like just, there's just so many random little things. You know, we could have crossed paths then, we don't know. But you just, I think of stuff like that, and my brain just goes crazy thinking of just all these little just little moments that you veer to the left and this moment zips by on the right and you didn't even know what happened. And you know, Sylvester's, yeah, they had BMX stuff too, but no, there was that little bike shop right by the arcade. It was the Baker's place there. Sylvester's had bikes too. Yeah, you're right. Floyd. But the third place I went when we first moved to Bonneville, the first place was that gas station where I filled up the tires on my bike and met Shane Yarshuk. He told me about the arcade down across from Notre Dame High School. And so I went there. That's where I ran into Floyd and Glenn Dane and Les Quartz and all these guys, and Rob Bush and Floyd Finley, Stan Finley. Just a colorful cast of characters. Met them all there that day, and then right beside that, a little arcade was this little bike shop. Yeah. Anyway. Fun stuff. Fun to sort of. This is kind of what I do when I write my little stories too. I just get so lost in just the smallest little details. Just the way the smell of the wheat fields the first time I got to Bonneville. I remember that vividly. It was probably around 11 o'clock at night, or it sure felt like 11 o'clock at night. 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night on August 16th, 1985. And it was cool. It was the cool of the evening had set in, and I can still smell the wheat fields, and I can smell the dust that was on the streets out in front of the bus depot. All that kind of stuff. I remember seeing the grain elevators, which was the cover that I'm using now for Northern Town. That was the first image I had. That was the high rise in Bonneville. I just remember, that's the kind of, my brain goes there, and then I just try to start typing what I'm seeing when I'm visiting these little stories. Anyway, junior high, that's right. But the next year was the first year it turned into a high school. So anyway, I digress. But yeah. Let me see. Where shall I go from here? Okay. thought I saw you in the shadows. I couldn't see your face, but I knew it was you. All those years they ain't been too kind to you. Then again they ain't been kind to anyone I know. Anyone I know, they're gonna take their toll. Yeah, they'll swallow you whole. I fix myself a drink to give me time to think. And if you would like a drink, you know I could fix one for you. 'Cause underneath the watchful light of Mama's blessing and the tear in Teddy's eye, yeah. 'Cause you're my girl in green, almost obscene to me. I can't believe, prisoner of nightmares and dreams. And every time I let you down, well, you turn around and you say, well, I won't let go. You're my girl in green, you're most obscene to me. I remember just like embers burning in my memory, how you once said it was all in your head. Yeah, right. The burning questions, all along in need, that long in need, ooh, the long in need. Well, I'm watching you bleed. Yeah, now for that longing need, yeah, longing need. Ooh, now for the longing need, yeah, man. 'Cause you're the girl in green, you're most obscene to me. And I can't believe, prisoner of nightmares and dreams. And every time I let you down, wow, you turn around and you say, oh, well, I won't let go. You're my girl in green, you're most obscene to me. Thought I saw you in the shadows. I couldn't see your face, but I knew that it was you. Well, now, babe, I'm still singing and still chasing something, but the only thing is that something's always changing. That's right. Girl in Green. Remember the pawn shop? Yes, I remember the pawn shop very well. Who doesn't remember the pawn shop? That's right. Derek was big time into skateboards. When I first met Derek, I was his guitar teacher. And he would have been, 12 or 13 years old at the time. And he would show up for his lessons or at Panish Music on a skateboard with a guitar in his hand. No case, no nothing. Just his acoustic guitar, hair, looking more like Cliff Burton than anything else. And hair down to his hips. He already had tats. He was 13 years old. He had tats. What a nut. And he would show up on a skateboard and with his acoustic guitar. And it took by lesson 3, the student had passed the teacher far and away. He's still one of the best musicians I know, and one of my favorite people as well. All right. Let me see. Yeah, man, fate happens every day. Matthew, you are so correct. Bubba. Speaking of Bubba. Okay. Well, I'm a rocker, she's a roller. We gonna drive it all night like we stole her. Ain't gonna back down, Bubba, when we come to town. Yeah, some people throw up, some people throw down. We're talking big deals, we're talking big wheels. We're talking scraping bug guts on the windshield. Cause I'm a rocker, she's a roller. We gonna drive it all night like we stole her. Turn it up. There ain't nothing kicking like a kick drum kicking in, or a rumbling thunder coming through a 410. You turn it up. There ain't nothing better than a telly running through a twin, except for maybe a mandolin, Monroes Mandolin. Country, she's western. You give me bluegrass, Bill, Earl, and Lester. I'm hard as a pistol. Bubba, grab a fistful. We've been driving all night in from Bristol. We're talking early cash, we're talking mid-clash, we're talking Dylan before the motorcycle crash. Cause I'm a country, yeah, she be western. So give me bluegrass, Bill, Earl, and Lester. Yes, sir. Turn it up. There ain't nothing kicking like a kick drum kicking in, or a rumbling thunder coming through a 410. Turn it up. There ain't nothing better than a telly running through a twin, except for maybe a mandolin, Monroes Mandolin. Turn it up. There ain't nothing kicking like a kick drum kicking in, a rumbling thunder coming through a 410. Turn it up. There ain't nothing better than a telly running through a twin, except for maybe a mandolin, except for maybe a mandolin. Except for maybe a mandolin, Monroes Mandolin. I'm a rocker, yeah, she's a roller. We're gonna drive it all night like we stole her. Yeah, man. Monroes Mandolin. Long McQuaid bought my Eastman Mando. Yes, right on. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I was just thinking of my time at Panish Music, and back in 1987, I bought for my graduation, which was probably just a miracle in and of itself. And truth be told, I still don't know if I actually graduated from high school. I never did open the envelope with my grades. Didn't want to know. So I still don't really know. I think I did, but I wouldn't be surprised if I came up a few credits short. But my dad drove out from New Brunswick for my graduation, and he gave me $500 cash for my schooling. I remember that. And morning, Mr. Dinkle, Mikey boy, nice to see you. Anyway, so he gave me $500 for my graduation for my schooling, and it just so happened that at Panish Music there was a black 1968 Les Paul sitting there, and it was for sale for $500. And that was a steal in 1988. Even though Les Pauls weren't nearly as popular then, they were kind of like just considered like whatever. I can't believe that, but people were more crazy about the hot pink Kramer guitars and Hamer guitars and stuff. But anyway, there was a 1968 black Les Paul, gorgeous, and it had been played. It had thousands of shows under its belt, and it was owned by a guy. It was owned by Laverne Panish's. Laverne was the guy who owned the music store. His brother, his name was Bob, and Bob owned the guitar. Bob had passed away recently, and his wife, it broke her heart to look at that guitar. So she asked Laverne to sell it. She said, just get rid of this guitar. I can't. It just breaks my heart every time I see it. So he put the guitar, on a guitar stand in his shop, and I walked in the day he was taken out of the case, and it was $500. And like literally the next day, my dad showed up for my graduation, gave me $500. I'm like, I know where I'm going with this right now. So I went and bought that guitar. You may have heard the story, you may not have. Long story short, I had the guitar for about 2 weeks before it fell off of a table. I was doing my very first gig. I was auditioning for my very first road band. So this is 2 weeks out of high school. I'm auditioning for a band in Bonnyville at the bar out there on the outskirts of town there at the Lakelander. The bar back then was called Hooters, not to be confused with all the other Hooters establishments that we all know and adore now. But anyway, it was called Hooters, and it was a live rock room. And there was a band playing there, and I happened to be there to watch their sound check. I got a little job bussing tables right out of high school. And the band showed up. They were setting up. I was chatting them up and found out that the guitar player was leaving the band, and they were looking for a guitar player. I auditioned and somehow got the gig. I also eventually got fired about 2 months, a little less than 2 months later. I got fired from that band. They may have just jumped the gun in hiring me. But I was at that audition when I was just sort of tuning up the guitar and getting everything set. And this band, they were called Picture This. They're from Saskatoon. They were up on the stage and they were doing this, and they're like, the sound man / manager said, Mike, hey, come on up, get your amp set up and all that kind of stuff. And so I did that. I put the amp on. I was sort of sitting there at this table playing whatever I was playing, just sort of warming up. And I put the guitar on this table, just leaned it on the top of the table, laid it on top of this table, this bar table, and I walked up to the stage to put my amp, set my amp up. And as I was walking toward the stage, I heard this thud, and I turned around, and there was my Les Paul with the headstock broken off of it. It wasn't completely broken up, but it was cracked, and it was sort of hanging on for dear life. And I didn't know what the deal was with that. I figured, the guitar was done. So I went to a music store in Edmonton a couple weeks. I had the guitar with me for the next couple weeks because I didn't know what to do with it. And then I ended up at a music store in Edmonton called Mainly Music. They're on 109th Street and 82nd Ave, White Ave. And I walked in, showed him this guitar, and the guy behind the counter knew that I was a sucker. And he goes, this guitar's done, man. I'll give you $200 for it right now. And that was the last time I ever saw that. It wasn't the last time I ever saw that guitar. About 5 years later, I was in a bar on White Avenue again. And there was a band playing, and the guitar player was playing this black Les Paul, very worn-in, weathered Les Paul. And on his set break, I went up to him and said, hey, man, where'd you get that Les Paul? I said, can I see your guitar? And he's like, oh, yeah, here you go. So I'm looking at it, and sure enough, there you could see where the headstock had been repaired. There had the belt buckle rash on the back of the guitar. The neck was all worn down. I said, and I knew it was my guitar. I said, where'd you get this guitar, man? And he's like, I got it at Mainly Music about 5 years ago. I'm like, At the time, I didn't know you could fix a Gibson headstock when they snap off. I have a Gibson Dove that I've broken the headstock off twice now. Well, once my dog knocked it over and broke it. The other time, U.S. Immigration broke it. And it's an easy fix. It's a drag, but it's an easy fix. Might cost $100, and then it's as good as new. But anyway, so the guitar was gone, and I never saw the guitar again. About a month ago, I'm at Long and McQuaid, and I'm talking with this guy. His name's Paul. And he's looking at this black Les Paul, and he's like, man, I want to get a black Les Paul. He says, my guitar teacher used to have this black Les Paul, and that was the guitar that I learned to play on, and it was this great it was a beauty. It was like a 68 Les Paul, man. It was fantastic. And I've never been able to get another Les Paul that felt like that, and I would love to get my hands on one again. And so he's playing this Les Paul, and I said, what would you and I've just, for some reason, I had this feeling. This was back to the feathers sort of floating around in the wind. I said, what was your guitar teacher's name? It's like, Bob Panish. I went, well, I know where the guitar was for a little while, and I proceeded to tell him this story that I just told you. But crazy, huh? So the guitar that he learned to play on was that same guitar that I had for 2 weeks before I broke the headstock off of it. And it's also the same guitar that Mark Puffer learned to play on. Mark is a buddy of mine from town here, and just probably the best, one of the best musicians in town, one of the best singers in town. And he learned to play on that guitar as well. Crazy. Anyway, long story, sorry about that. But this is a song I wrote about that guitar. And it's also a case study in how the germ of an idea for a song may take 20 or 30 years, because the germ of this song was planted in July of 1987, and I wrote it in 2007. So it took 20 years to get this together, get the information together for this. And it's called You Ain't Living If You Don't Die Trying. It goes like this. You ain't living if you don't die trying. It ain't living if you don't die trying. Well, you ain't living if you don't, and you're dying if you won't. You ain't living if you don't die trying. Well, I was born at a very young age, and I never learned nothing written on the page. Buddy, you can't run before you learn to walk, and I got my education at the School of Hard Knocks. Well, I hit the road when I turned 19, and I was fired from every band on the scene, 'cause I couldn't sing, I couldn't much play, but I was rocking and a-rolling all the livelong day. Yeah, my dad gave me an old Gibson Les Paul, but I broke the headstock off of her on the way to my very first gig in a bar. You ain't living if you don't die trying. It ain't living if you don't die trying. Well, you ain't living if you don't, and you're dying if you won't. You ain't living if you don't die trying. Yep. Well, I knew a guy, he lived his life, he was always on the go. The alternative, he said, was to wake up dead, and then you never ever really know. You ain't living if you don't die trying. You ain't living if you don't die trying. Well, you ain't living if you don't, and you're dying if you won't. You ain't living, you don't die trying. Well, from then till now, I've just rambled around. Yeah, me and my sound from town to town. Keep on keeping on, like Dylan said. I guess I will until I'm dead. Well, I'm a little bit older, but I'm no more wise, and there's a chip on my shoulder I just can't hide. Well, it's a long old road, and that's half the fun, but when you do it for love, you've truly won. Yeah, sometimes I think about that old Les Paul. Is she playing the blues in some bar tonight, or hanging on someone's wall? You ain't die trying. Well, you ain't living if you don't, and you're dying if you won't. You ain't living, you don't die trying. You ain't living if you don't die trying. It ain't living if you don't die trying. Well, you gotta call him as you see him pony up and carpe diem. You ain't living if you don't die trying. It ain't living if you don't die trying. It ain't living if you don't die trying. You ain't living if you don't die trying. Ain't that the truth? Yeah, man. Crazy. Yeah, so the German for that song was planted in July of 87. I wrote it probably in the spring of 2007. So for 20 years, I carried it around. Carried the melody. You ain't living if you don't die trying. Didn't have a lyric. Just had that melody for probably a year before I got around to writing it. I remember the melody, coming up with the melody. We were still we hadn't moved back to Tennessee, so this would have been in 2005, I guess. Spring of 2006, when I came up with the melody. I remember I was, I was taking our dogs for a walk, and I came up with that. But I had no idea what I was going to be singing about. And then I stumbled onto that chord progression, stumbled onto the you ain't living if you don't die trying. I don't even know what that means, but I think everybody kind of understands it anyway. You know what I mean? It's just life is for the living. What's that Dylan lyric? If you're not busy being born, you're busy dying, right? So that's kind of what that's about, I guess. Just living, seizing the day. You got to call him as you see him, pony up and carpe diem. You ain't living if you don't die trying. I'm quite sure that that's the first time that pony up and carpe diem have ever been used in the same sentence. Anyway, that's all I really know about that song. It's just it was a fun song to write. I knew when I started writing it, I knew that it was going to be a talking blues, and I knew that a talking blues needs those lyrics. Every line needs to end with a zinger. It needs to have something that's going to kind of make you chuckle. So I was born at a very young age, and I never learned nothing written on the page. Buddy, you can't run before you learn to walk, and I got my education at the School of Hard Knocks. Again, with all the internal rhymes there. That was all written without even a guitar in my hand. That was written while taking the dogs for a walk. Back then it would have been Lucy and Annie. That's what that would have been. I hit the road when I turned 19, and I was fired from every band on the scene because I couldn't sing and I couldn't much play, but I was rocking and rolling all the live long day. Yeah. So that's kind of, again, just tons of internal rhymes, and it all eventually makes sense somehow too. So anyway, I might just gump my way back to that guitar someday. That is my fervent prayer. That is my fervent prayer. Anyway, yesterday at work, the guy who shared that guitar with me, who learned how to play guitar on that very Les Paul, he shows up. He's like, Mike, look at this. And he opens up the case, and it's not that Les Paul, but he bought a beyond reasonable facsimile, a high-dollar Les Paul. And he was a proud papa, let's put it that way. And, yeah. Now, where am I? What are we doing? I kind of lost all track of time here. I was born by the radio in the cradle of the Crocus Plains, in the shadow of a grain elevator and the rumble of a westbound train. Mama said you could hear them trains when the clouds was low. It's gonna bring a much needed rain or a Thanksgiving snow. Just east of nowhere and west of someplace better. We're all gonna get on out of there come first break in the weather. And it seems half the town was cap and gown, baby, come the end of June. Well, some of us left and I guess the rest kept doing what was doing. And the western wind lets you know you're back home again. It it doesn't matter where you've been. There's something in the western wind. Well, I've watched floodwaters damn near swallow my neighbor whole. We didn't just stand there, we threw sandbags in the cold. Now everyone in town came around to save the Lewis farm. Every man, woman, and child were walking arm in arm. And the western wind lets you know you're back home again. It doesn't matter where you've been, there's something in the western wind. I said, next month will be 10 years since the old lion passed away. And the lessons that he taught me I carry with me to this day. Now everyone in town came around to say till we meet again, as we lowered him down into the ground in a howling western wind. You know you're back home again, and it doesn't matter where you've been. There's something in the western wind, something in the western wind that lets you know you're back home again. And it doesn't matter where you've been, something in that western wind. That's right. Dennis, nice to see you, ma'am. So nice to see you. You been in touch with Sparky lately? I'm sure he'd like to hear from you. Yeah, I can do best job I ever had for you, buddy. Absolutely. Right now. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'd like to thank my parents for the shape I'm in. Pardon my condition, my excuse is pretty thin. You see, all I wanted was a car when I turned 16. But my folks bought me a guitar and it'll be the death of me. Well, I could have been a doctor or even an astronaut. Hell, I could have been almost anything if it weren't for this dreadnought. But when I got down to it and I learned the chords C, F, and G, I hit the road with my guitar and it'll be the death of me. And it's the best job I've ever had. You spend half your time tuning them and the other half playing out of tune. Man, it's the best job I've ever had. It's the best job I've ever had. Now guitars make life bearable. There ain't another job in the world comparable. It's the best job I've ever had, man. Well, it's gotten me into some tight spots, and it's got me out of a few. And if it wasn't for the music bowls, well, I don't know what I'd do. But if you're gonna tell the truth, then you need to have the tools. So get yourselves a guitar and it'll be the death of you. And it's the best job I've ever had. And one night in Kansas City, it got broken in a fight. Now I glued it back together and it ain't never been right, no. It's still the best job I've ever had. It's the best job I've ever had. Do you want to know why people play guitar all day long and act a fool all for a song? 'Cause it's the best job they ever had, man. It's the best job I've ever had. And I know why Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil way down on Highway 61. 'Cause it's the best job he ever had. Now when I die and I get to heaven, well, I'm gonna tell you what. I will have seen and done a lot of things, but there's still the things that I had not. But what I did, and I did it the most true, was play this fucking guitar, man. And I played it all for you. Yeah, man. Best job I ever had. Thanks for asking for that song, Dennis. I do appreciate it very, very much. Haven't seen you in 1,000 years, man. Somewhere in Chicago, probably Fitzgerald's. Okay. Where shall I go from here? Okay. D. I'm going to try my D harp. Something about when we touch, a little too much ain't never enough. Here beneath the stars and the magnolia trees, a slice of heaven just for you and me. There's a place we'd like to go, tucked away where nobody knows. Fireflies and moonbeams and a warm summer breeze. There's nowhere else on earth I'd rather be than laying on the hood of my car, wishing on a shooting star, singing with the radio, playing soft and low. Baby, just to you and me, easy as can be. We're doing what comes naturally. Baby, when I taste your kiss and the soft caress of your fingertips, there's something about the moonlight as it dances in your eyes. It's a dream I must have dreamed 1,000 times, laying on the hood of my car, wishing on a shooting star, singing with a radio, playing soft and low. Baby, just to you and me, easy as can be, doing what comes naturally. There's something about the moonlight as it dances in your eyes. It's a dream I must have dreamed 1,000 times. Laying on the hood of my car, wishing on a shooting star, singing with the radio, playing soft and low. Baby, just you and me, easy as can be. We're doing what comes naturally. Baby, just you and me, easy as can be. We're doing what comes naturally. You're like gold, you're like diamonds, you're a picture of perfect timing, babe. Them stars must have been lining up the day that I met you. You're like a bird on a wing, you've been teaching me to sing of the gifts that love can bring when you let it come to you, yeah. Eyelashes making wishes, does that make me superstitious? Babe, them kisses are so delicious, I thank the good Lord every day. 'Cause you're like the sunny side of the street, you make my heart skip a beat to your sweet melody and a tender harmony. Yeah, now you're the only one who can make my heart beat like a drum, to your voice like a song. Yeah, there's nothing that I'd rather do than walk hand in hand with you all along the avenue. There ain't nothing quite so fine. And them stars in that evening sky, they pale to my baby's eyes. Didn't take me long to realize like a diamond you do shine. You're a sweet melody and a tender harmony. Yeah, now you're the only one who can make my heart beat like a drum, to your voice like a song. Ooh, your voice like a song, that's right. You're like the sunny side of the street, you're making my heart skip a beat to your sweet melody and a tender harmony. Yeah, now you're the only one who can make my heart beat like a drum, to your voice like a song. Ooh, your voice like a song, baby. Take it away. You're like gold, you're like diamonds, you're a picture of perfect timing, babe. Yeah, man. standing in a line at the Circle K to get a six-pack for the football game. When I heard somebody say my name, imagine my surprise. Well, we talked about them good old days, talked that time slipped away. We talked till the only thing left to say was what we said with our eyes, and how that summer night when we lost our innocence, we remembered to forget. How it broke down in Capoli. We spent the night in my Chevrolet, and for the first time that old car made me thank my lucky stars. We loved until the sun came up, drinking whiskey from a Timmy's cup, and we swore forever to see a little with the keys. It's those little things we remember to forget. She flashed a ring and said, now how about you? I said, girl, I'm married too. It'll be 5 years come this June. We got a baby due in July. She pulled a picture from her purse and said, that's my Jessie, she's my first. And I said, yeah, one thing for sure, she's got her mama's eyes. Well, looks like we each got our own white picket fence, so we remembered to forget. How I bought a tiny golden band, asked your daddy for your hand, and for the first time in my life I was scared to see you that night. Yeah. I didn't know what you'd say to me when I dropped down on one knee. I don't remember what I said. You said yes. Well, it's those little things we remember to forget. Yeah. We said all that we could have said. I saw her eyes in a rearview mirror as she drove away, and all those pretty words that we once said, and all those promises we never kept, we remember to forget. Remember to forget. Remember to forget. We remember to forget. Yeah, man. Okay, what am I going to play? I had another good idea for this song here. I have time for a couple more songs here, gang, today. I'm hoping you are enjoying your day, because I certainly am. Don't forget, Wednesday night over on YouTube, here on YouTube, Wednesday night will be episode 8 of the Revisited series. And so, yeah, tune in for that. That'll be 8:30 Newfoundland is the name of the album that we will be revisiting. Is that 8? I keep doing this. Why do I keep screwing this up? Song and Dance Man was 4. Yeah. Fools for the Radio was 5. Table for One was 6. Rock and Roll 7. 8:30 Newfoundland, the 8th album. And that's kind of like, to me, it's the... it was kind of like the second act. The first 7 albums, I don't even know if it was, that might be the third act, actually. The first act obviously would be albums Northern Town through Fools for the Radio. Second act would be Table for One, Rock and Roll Recordings, and Steel Belted Radio. That'd be the second act. This would be the third act. This would be the start of the third act with 8:30 Newfoundland. And it's kind of, even though things are substantially different than they were 20 years ago, it's probably the best. It's certainly, I am certainly more assured or convinced of what I'm supposed to be doing with my life by this point. So, yeah. And that started with 8:30 Newfoundland. And so that's at 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, which would be 11:30 in Newfoundland. On Wednesday night, here on YouTube, the Revisited series, episode 8. So please tune in for that. Tuesday, I will be, my morning coffees over on Instagram will be, I'm going to try those on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So basically I do a live stream on Sunday. Monday, I don't. Tuesday will be a coffee on Instagram. Wednesday will be the Revisited series. Thursday will be another coffee on Instagram. Friday, Saturday, open. And then the Sunday mornings here. That's what I'm going to try anyway. See how that goes. What's in the bowl? What are we talking about here? I'm missing something. I'm trying to... Anyway. Morris Bell, your delivery is so much... Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much, Morris. Thanks very, very much. The Northern Ramble. I don't even know where that is. Anyway, I got some stuff to do. I got a couple more songs to sing. And oddly enough, they're both... no, they're not. This next song was on the Fools for the Radio album. Telephone rings way too much, but not nearly enough. With you on the other end of the line, she said, you know, you could still call me. Well, lately I've been thinking about everything. Something leaves me stranded in between. Yeah, I'm stranded in between. She's my Marilyn Monroe, and I'm her Joe DiMaggio. Marilyn Monroe and DiMaggio. Never together, but forever linked. We're kinda like birds of a feather, baby. When our spirits start to sink, yeah, we're forever linked. She's my Marilyn Monroe, and I'm her Joe DiMaggio. Marilyn Monroe and DiMaggio. She's my Marilyn Monroe, I'm Joltin' Joe DiMaggio. Marilyn Monroe and DiMaggio. DiMaggio, Indeed. DiMaggio. Yeah, man. Hard to believe that song is almost 22 years old. That's insane. How does that happen? How in the world does that happen? I just wrote the song half an hour ago. Ken, tell Abby I said thanks. Thanks very much. We came here through the sleet and the wind to be at your jubilee. Don't know when we're gonna be here again at your jubilee. We traveled for days to sing for an hour at your jubilee. Unravel the haze and live in the now at your jubilee. Yeah, we sing about scars and emotional wheels at your jubilee. We sing from our hearts and we sing for our meals at your jubilee. That's right. There was Buddy Holly and Stevie Ray Vaughan. They both died leaving jubilees. Well, I keep that in mind, hey, but I keep on saying these jubilees. Yeah, we came here through the sleet and the wind to be at your jubilee. Don't know when we're gonna be here again at your jubilee. Don't know when we're gonna be here again at your jubilee. Don't know when we'll be here again at your jubilee. Don't know when we'll ever be here again at your jubilee. That's right. We came here through the sleet and the wind just to see you at your jubilee. Yeah, man. Well, I have time for one more song, guys. Thank you so much for joining me yet again. We'll see you next Sunday, okay? Or Wednesday evening if it's not too late. If it's not, I know it's a school night, but if it's not past your bedtime, tune in. 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for the Revisited series, episode 8. Okay. Joey D. Thanks, Floyd. I do appreciate it, man, very much. Doug Jensen, nice to see you, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for the nomination for my Roots Award. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's next Sunday evening, so who the hell knows? If I don't show up here next Sunday, I'll be here. But if the following Sunday I don't show up, it's because I won the award and I just said to hell with it all and retired. That's right. No, But yes, the awards show is next Sunday night, I believe, and it's obviously going to be a virtual awards show. So that's all I really know. I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to that kind of stuff. Don't know why. Maybe because I've never been nominated or not that often. But yeah, I just kind of keep, and as the Tragically Hip say, an inch an hour, 2 feet a day. I just keep plodding ahead, moving forward as steadily as I can. But thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to do one more song for you guys. We'll see you Tuesday morning over there on Instagram for a cup of coffee. Wednesday night here for the Revisited series. Thursday morning on Instagram for a cup of coffee. And then back here again on Sunday morning for Easy Like Sunday Morning. Thanks, Barb. Appreciate that. All right, gang. This is how it goes. We all know the song. It's getting to that point. It's kind of like, it's kind of turned into My Happy Trails. Maybe that's pretty funny, actually. Yeah, this has kind of turned into that. From the rolling fields of wheat to the busy city streets, there's a feeling and a spirit all our own. True north, strong and free, stand on guard, you and me. From the east to the west, we roam. This is our home. From Norman Wells at the top, all the way to the rocks, there's a wind that's always blown. And from down Summerside to the Queen Charlotte Islands, there's a way of life we've always known. This is our home. This is our home. Well, I've seen the northern lights dancing over Yellowknife while standing in the middle of a field. From Pier 21 all the way to Flin Flon, yeah, I gotta cross that Canadian Shield. Yeah, no one knows winter like we know winter, blowing in off Lake Ontario. And from the Rideau Canal to Bonham Carnival, there's a little place I love in the Gatineaus, with a covered bridge and a swimming hole. This is our home. This is our home. Well, from Portage in Maine to Yonge and Queen, and every street corner in between. No matter where you go in this rugged land, there's one thing we all understand. Every woman, every child and man. 8:30 Newfoundland. 8:30 Newfoundland. Way up in Peace Country, back east in Kings County, and clear across to Thunder Bay, where Winnipeg feels like forever and hope seems like never, let alone out Campbell River way. Oh, when you cross a border and you see a caribou on the quarter, then and only then will you be home. Well, I've driven from the Peg to the Chuck, and Yankees call us Canucks, but together we'll never stand alone. Yeah, together we'll never stand alone. I said forever, the maple leaf will be flown. This is our home. This is our home. Tar Sands and Fort Mac, Kelly's Beach and Cushpaquack, hey, and down in the Shuswap too. Well, I've seen midnight feel like high noon, from the Dome all the way down to Saskatoon. There's Confederation Bridge, and there's Butternut Ridge, and there's Sudbury and the Sioux. Well, I've lived in the Lakeland And I've been to the Badlands, head smashed in, buffalo jumped too. And I've been snowed in for days on the Trans-Canada Highway. That was in the month of June. That's right. This is our home. Oh, all the money that e'er I had, well, I spent it in good company. And all the harm that e'er I've done, well, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, all the comrades that e'er I had, they're all sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls onto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll raise my glass and softly call, good night and joy be with you all. I'll raise my glass and softly call, good night and joy be with you all. Thanks, gang. I will see you Wednesday night. Have a great day, great week. See you Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Revisited series. See you around.